All right, guys, pit stop. Tuesday, September 30th. Coming with several updates. I am a little under the weather. You may be able to tell. I think I got 20 hours of sleep over the course of 4 days in New York last week. So, I had that along with an air conditioning unit in my hotel room blowing at my face every night. So, drinking, lack of sleep, air conditioning in the face all night is a recipe for not feeling my best. Had an absolute blast. I will get to some of that in a few minutes, but yeah. The biggest disappointment is that I can't hold and kiss my daughter because I don't want to get her sick. It's a bummer, man. I missed her so much, and then I get home and I can barely touch her. So I'm getting over it. It's all good. Thank you guys for joining the live. Hit me with any questions should you have them. Just got back from Rollyfest. My buddy Giorgio and I went to New York together. I went to Rollyfest. He joined some friends and such around the city. He had never been to New York before, so shout out Giorgio. I believe I speak for him in saying he really enjoyed the city. Big shout out to VJ at Oris. Had a great time at the Yankee game Wednesday night. Saw Judge hit 2 out, 50 and 51. Incredible performance. Little bit of drizzle. Also ran into Carlos and his brother, Dos Huesos. Shout out to you guys. Tiramisu in a helmet. Who knew? The best dessert in a ballpark as far as I'm concerned. It was amazing. Spirit of Time podcast. The polo is incredible. Need another. Did you hang with Morgan? Thank you for the comments on the polo. I'm pretty proud of them. They took a year to make, which hopefully doesn't oversell them, but love those things. I'm wearing the crap out of mine. Although right now I'm wearing a collectability t-shirt. So shout out John Reardon. A bunch of reference numbers on the back of the t-shirt. Great Rollyfest photo dump. Thanks, Wes. David, thanks, man. Yeah, it was a pleasure. Trust me. The event was unbelievable. I did hang with Morgan, by the way. That was a blast. I mean, he's just such a crack up. It was my first Rollyfest. I think it's either the 4th or 5th total. I think it was the 5th one, maybe. Started in 2019. The venues and the people. I mean, of course, watches, right? The watches are kind of beyond, right? Incredible, just silliness that you see, the rarity of these pieces, all in one room, most oftentimes. Unreal. But really, the venues are just incredibly special. I believe the first one was on the Intrepid, which is the aircraft carrier on the Hudson River there. I did not attend that, as I said. I think they did it at the Natural History Museum one year. This year, it was Thursday night's dinner was at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in what don't recall the name of the room, but it was where a tomb was. Imagine an Egyptian, or I don't even know what it was. Unbelievable. Had a moat around it. I know I did the photo dump on the stories, but trust me, I'll create some posts as well so that they can live up there. So if you are listening now or later, as I'm recording this, you can see them on my Instagram. But unbelievable dinner. Again, this is, some people have joked and called it the Met Gala of watches. I don't know if that's official or not, but I thought that was a pretty good description, actually. If you could think of watches being the outfits and then the group of people in a beautiful setting, especially at the Met, obviously, because that's a little on the nose. But unbelievable. It was crazy. About 200 enthusiasts, I think, worldwide is what it was made up of. The service was incredible. Shout out to the security. I mean, obviously there's tons of security needed. in between these events, so there's 3 events. The first one, like I said, Thursday night was at the Met. Friday morning, late morning, 11 to 3, was like a lunch brunch at the top of One World Trade, no less. Just astonishing how Jeff, Manhattan Rolly on Instagram, shout out Jeff Hess. And I'm just incessantly interrupting my story, but Jeff and I are recording a podcast tomorrow morning, so I'm super excited about that. He might jump, he might jump up a few paces or jump up a few episodes, I should say, and join the podcast maybe next week. I'm going to try and edit it and get it out by next week, but can't make any promises, Jeff, or any of you, because I've got another event this weekend, which I'll get to in a minute. But yeah, so top of One World Trade, incredible. I mean, I'd been as just like a tourist when it first opened. The elevator ride is really special. I don't want to give that away, so no spoilers there. But if you ever go to One World Trade and you go to the top, the elevator ride is super special. Just from the historical aspect of it. That's how that's what I'll mention. Brunch was great. Chicken and waffles, that might be still up on my stories, so you may have seen that over the last 24 hours. That was delicious. Yeah, so the seating arrangement at the Met was different than it was at lunch, which is great because it's just a great way to meet and mingle and, shake hands, kiss babies, that kind of thing. It was really cool because I met several people that I've been online with for years and had conversations and had never met in person. So that was one of the most special aspects of the trip, of the events, is really just being able to press the flesh, as they say, and just really enjoy each other's company in person. I think one of the best things to me is the physicality, that nature of interacting with one another. Yes, this is an online community. Yes, it's an in-person community. But for most people, your watch community is usually like your local Red Bar, or like you and some buddies meeting at a bar, or a restaurant or something. Actually, my friends in North Carolina go to each other's houses and do like meetups with like bourbon and stuff, which is great. But so this is like a totally different thing. If you can imagine, even though it's really buttoned up and sort of the presentation is so elevated, it really is lacking in pretension, which may be counterintuitive. And if so, I totally get it. It's just everybody's there for the same reason, right? Like it's all about enthusiasm. It's all about community. And thank you, Jeff, for putting that on, because I don't know. Like, I think a lot of us are getting tired of Instagram and fishing for likes and the psychosis that it involves and the mental health issues that are kind of that just are happening, and like comparison being the thief of joy. Like there's a lot of this stuff going around, and so being in person just like really gets you offline and in front of others, and it's just the best. I'm an outgoing person. I'm not a recluse. I'm not very introverted, although I think as I get older, I'm starting to become a little bit more introverted. But I actually wonder, is it being introverted, or is it just being picky with how I spend my time? Skip likes vintage. Skip, my brother. We all need to move to the same city. IG is the greatest scam ever. Yeah, I mean, look, it's... As a brand for Standard H, I've said this probably ad nauseum, that if it weren't for my brand, I'm not sure I'd even be using this platform. Like, it's such a time suck. And it affects me, like, honestly, like, just in the sense of, I feel like I have to be on it. And then I also find myself getting tripped up and down these like rabbit holes, guilty as charged. Like it's an addiction to many people. And I really do try to catch myself. But anyway, not to derail this whole conversation to talk about that. But so yeah, after that, we had a bit of a break after brunch, and then there was kind of a good night, sort of cocktail party goodbye. event at the Waldorf Astoria. And it wasn't just at the hotel, it was next door at the Residences, which was just like unbelievable. Just to be there in sort of a private room again. The cocktails were great. My buddy Marlon actually was the liquor sponsor, and I had no idea he was even going to be there. So I like walk in this room and see my buddy Marlon, who I've known for years at this point. And it was incredible. I was just like, hey, Marlon, what's up? And he's like, oh, well, I'm representing this new brand now. And I was like, amazing. And the bourbon they had was incredible. There was like a 10-year, and then I can't remember what the other one was, like a reserve of some kind. But yeah, it was just an unreal event. In classic Wesley Smith fashion, I started to lose my voice. And I do that every time I go to these like multi-day events. So my voice is sort of recovering, but not really. I'm trying to think of what else. Yeah, met some new people as well, like people I'd never heard of, didn't interact with historically online. So yes, I did have those that I met in person for the first time, and then those who I met in person for the first time because I never knew who they were. So that was amazing, to meet so many new friends and like immediate connections, like people I've already exchanged phone numbers with, and like, hey, let's hang out the next time I'm in the city. And yeah, it's just been amazing. Hey Mike, enjoy the round, man. Hit them straight. Thanks for joining. And yeah, so it was just an incredible vibe. Jeff really, really knows how to do this. It's really impressive. And everybody, by all accounts, I guess, has mentioned each one is better than the last. And that's not like a dig at the last. It's just the venues, like I said, they just become more and more impressive, and like the aura and the vibe in the room. And I was listening to Kevin Odell talk on his Instagram stories yesterday, and he said it was his favorite just due to the watches, because historically, you know, as the name would suggest, Rolly Fest is very much, I think, rooted in Rolex collecting historically. But now the diversity in collection and pieces that were represented at these days, at these events, was really just like crazy. I mean, big Longa presence, which I was super excited to see, held a bunch of pieces I'd never seen before in person. And that was amazing. Which actually, mentioning Longa it's a perfect transition. So I'll get off of Rolly Fest right now. Look for more content. Like I said, I'm going to be interviewing Jeff. Full disclosure, he and I were supposed to record actually a couple weeks ago, but schedule conflict happened. But now I think we both agree the podcast that we will record tomorrow morning will in fact be better than it would have been, just due to the fact that we now have something to talk about. Otherwise it would have just been existing in the world of secrecy, because no one knows where the event is taking place until the last minute. And again, that's mainly for security reasons, but also just, you know, to keep it, I don't know, it really feels special. So I feel very honored to have been invited, and it was just amazing. And so look for Jeff's interview very soon on Standard Age Podcast, of course. And yeah, but with the representation of Longa. Also, I'd never seen so many burnarounds in one place, which was crazy. But I am actually going with a Langenzona to the Audrain Concourse this weekend in Newport, Rhode Island. So those of you who knew about Lufka Cult in Durham, North Carolina, sadly I had to cancel my attendance in order to go to Audrain with Longa, which again, it's a privilege, not a right. I feel unbelievably appreciative of the invitation. I can't wait to go. This is an event that I believe they've sponsored for 3 years now running, and for the last 2 years I've taken note of this event and have wanted to attend it. So this is crazy. Back-to-back weekends, incredible events. But the Audrain is basically a concours d'elegance, effectively. It's just not at Pebble Beach. It's not in my backyard of La Jolla. They do Hampton Court, which you may have seen recently. And then, yeah, they do this one in Newport, Rhode Island, which is super exciting. 2 weeks ago, I shot a Breguet event as the photographer for the event. Super excited about that. I had my photo published at the top of the article on GQ. I've been subscribing to GQ for over 20 years. It was just such a pinch me surreal moment. So big thank you to Vincent Brasesco and Breguet and Kelsey and everybody there for trusting me in that. And yeah, it was just unbelievable. But there I saw Jay Leno, who happens to be going to Audrain. He's got very tight ties with the Audrain Museum and Donald and everybody there. Perhaps you've seen some of that content online or Instagram or YouTube. So I jokingly told Jay, I was like, look, man, I'll see you in 2 weeks. So that's this weekend. Couldn't be more excited about that as well. I'm going to be writing an article, actually, that will be published. I don't know if I'm even supposed to talk about it, but I will hold off on the publication, but be on the lookout for that publishing. Of course, I'll be shooting photos. I've set up a couple of interviews, which I'm really, really excited about. Yeah, so this weekend, God willing, the weather be good. It's going to be an amazing weekend, and I can't wait. And then after that, the following weekend is the Singer Reimagined event at Willow Springs, which is like a totally renovated track. Willow Springs, I believe, was like bought by private equity or something. So that track has had a complete overhaul, repavement. It's becoming something completely different. I'm putting the cart before the horse a little by saying some of this because I'm not exactly sure. I need to do more research. So forgive me for speaking out of school, but I think Singer is going to have like a representation there, like a permanent fixture type of situation at Willow Springs. I don't know if it's going to be like a place where you can place orders for your car, kind of like a performance experience, like a Porsche experience center or something like that. Or if they're doing driving school. I have no idea. I can't wait to find out. I'm going to drive up to that. Willow Springs is about 3 hours from my house. So that's going to be a trip. I look forward to driving the 997 up there. We'll probably caravan with at least one friend, maybe more. So if you guys are in, anywhere between San Diego and Willow Springs and you want to meet up and drive, shoot me a DM. Maybe we could arrange that. It'd be super fun. I'm trying to think of what else is cooking. So that brings us to mid-October. The end of October, I hope to be doing another event, hopefully in San Francisco. That's all I can share right now about that. That is much TBD on that front. But those of you in the Bay Area, San Francisco, etc., be on the lookout for information about that. Would love to see you guys and meet up. That'd be incredible. So hopefully that will come to fruition. I have a phone call tomorrow morning to hopefully talk about the ins and outs of said event. So fingers crossed that happens. Outside of that, huge sale going on Standard H website. Standard-H.com. If you have never been to the site before, I'm doing 50% off, which I've never done before. This is the biggest sale ever. It's probably the biggest sale that will ever be done. That uses code 2025 fall sale. All caps. Don't know if that matters actually. 2025 fall sale spelled out. But it's the numbers 2025. That'll get you 50% off a vast majority of the website. Huge sale going on. If you've ever thought that these products were expensive, then I don't know what to tell you. Half off is a pretty good deal. And to be quite blunt, I'm losing money on some of these products with the way they cost to make. But you know what? I got to make room for new stuff. And that's really the major point of why this is happening. I'm discontinuing several of the colors. I've got way too many SKUs, I feel like. I think I've made I've alluded to this before. Historically, just again, to maybe reiterate or go over that background is, historically I'd make like 20 or 30 of an item, and if they sold out, I figured that's popular enough to make further into larger production numbers. I've done that historically, and then let's say you run 100 per color of whatever that item is. Oftentimes I end up sitting on like 20%. So out of that next 100, only 80 sell, or whatever the case may be. I'm just using easy math here. And I can't afford to have products sit. So I'm shrinking production, making it far more limited than it's ever been, which also makes it special for you, the client, because I don't know about you guys. I don't like to wear what everybody else has. Now, I might be shooting my business in the foot to spite my toe, but we shall see, Dos Huesos, Carlos, I gave you a shout out earlier, brother. Thanks for joining. At any rate, so production numbers will go down. Depending on pricing and how that's affected, it may affect pricing. That is, again, TBD. I currently have a bunch of stuff in production right now. I'm hoping it's done by November, certainly by holiday, all new colors. However, I will say black and white, you may notice, are not on sale in some of the styles. I think namely the Avant t-shirt. Those are mainstays. You should always be able to buy a white shirt and a black shirt from Standard Age. So if you really want those right now, they are retail price. I apologize, but if it's your first purchase, it should be 15% off. So keep note of that. Although you can't combine discount codes. So if it's your first purchase and you play things smart, do your first one with the non-sale items at 15% off, order a second order for 50% off. So that's, the gymnastics that you can do to take advantage of the discounts. Yeah, so that's mainly what I'm up to product-wise. I'm excited about these new colors. They may or may not hit. I don't know. I mean, this is a gamble I have to take every time I produce something. And then I'm also producing a new outerwear piece that I'm super, super jazzed about. Now, it is going to be expensive. It's crazy expensive to make, but rest assured the fabrication, the quality of the materials used, it's going to be probably the most luxe thing I've ever done. And I'm super excited about it. I've already got one sample, already making tweaks onto the second sample. So that's going to be exciting. Stay on the lookout for those. Again, hopefully by November, certainly by holiday. I was trying to work out a photo shoot for that outerwear piece, frankly, but I'm not optimistic that's going to happen. But we shall see. We shall see. Yeah, and then it's holiday, guys. I mean, where did 2025 go, right? Like, granted, I had a daughter being born, which is certainly a curveball on the calendar, right? I hadn't been on a plane before last week. I hadn't been on a plane in 5 months. And I don't remember the last time I had a window of time with no flying. I think I was on 59 airplanes last year. And by the end of this weekend, I don't know, I'm guessing 30 this year, but only 4 of those were last weekend. So very busy up until May. By the way, my daughter's doing great. She barely cries. She sleeps 10 hours a night uninterrupted. She's been an absolute godsend. I'm obsessed with her. As I may have mentioned, she is just the best. She's a happy, happy baby, always smiling, always laughing. Half the time she's right here on my left. She's taking a nap right now. But she'll be in her little bouncy chair, little baby Bjorn. And we just crack each other up all day. It's just so much fun. I'm having so much fun with being a dad. It was heart-wrenching to be away from her for 4 days last week. I know some of you are probably rolling your eyes and saying, get over it. But if you don't have kids, you don't understand, because I was in your shoes once rolling my eyes. And I'm telling you right now, there's nothing like being a parent. All the cliches are true. I've never been such a sap in my entire life. Yeah, it's the best. It's the absolute best. And I couldn't wait to get home to her, which is why I'm pissed that I'm under the weather. to circle that right back around to the first part of this conversation. Anyway, as these are meant to be, I want to cut this short. It's about 25 minutes in-ish. So I'm going to leave it here. If you guys have any questions, please do email me info@standard-h.com. Follow along on Instagram. Clearly, if you're watching this right now, you already do. But yeah, and stay tuned for the email list. If you've never bought anything, no stress. Join the email list. Yeah, wait till she's 13. Yeah, that's what I hear. They want nothing to do with you at 13, 14. So that'll be interesting. John, thanks for joining, buddy. Hope you're doing well. No idea where you are, but if you're in England, I hope all is well. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys listening and following everything that I've been doing. There might be some new additions with the distribution of content, should I say. So I'll leave that there until that's decided on. I know I did a podcast survey. I know I keep coming up with new things to say, even though I said I was leaving. Thank you to the, 7,500 people that responded to the podcast survey. It's very helpful, actually. And I really appreciate it. I have some marinating to do based on the results and some thinking and some thoughts. But one of the things I was thinking about doing is if I ever did like a Substack, a lot of these like photo drops and like these photo bombs and stuff that I do on stories, I'm really thinking about making those as photo stories online, like as a blog. But a lot of this comes down to this stuff costs me money to do. And if it can supplement some of this, you'll just get more of it, frankly. And so that's kind of where my brain's at. It's less about me making money and more about me being able to provide more content for you. And God knows, I would love for my podcast to be video, but I don't edit video. It's a whole other complication. If I did something on video and charged $5 a month, that might be able to afford me the opportunity to hire somebody that can actually help me. And that's what this is about. This isn't about me, making money hand over fist. I mean, I feel like I'm very fair with what I charge for my products. But this stuff is so expensive to make, and I've got a lot of assessment to do because, newsflash, I now have a daughter, right? So like my expenses are going up and I need to live. Luckily, I have a wife that works as well. So, yeah, I just can't thank you guys enough for the follows and the likes and the comments and the appreciation and the support and the shopping, that kind of support. I can't do this without you guys buying my products. I just can't. It doesn't make financial sense for my wife and me, and it certainly doesn't make me feel like, no one likes pissing into the wind, pardon the expression. And if I just made a bunch of products and wasted a bunch of money on developing stuff that I think is cool and very high quality, and no one buys it, it's, as a CPA would say, it becomes a hobby, not a profession. So, at any rate, guys, I'm going to sign off on that note. Not to be, I'm just thankful. I'm ending on that note. Thank you. Talk to you soon.